Hello, YouTube. Get all set up here. Going to wait a couple minutes and let my chatters line up in the live chat here before we take off. And the plan is to have Tracy Lebenzon that makes these gorgeous museum quality handmade bamboo artist brushes and go over these and share a coupon code. And Tracy is going to try to join the chat live. So he'll be here for questions. So I'm going to wait until you might want to scoot ahead a few minutes if you're watching the recording. Hey, Wendy. You might want to scoot ahead a couple minutes if you're watching the recording to let people come in and get organized in chat. Hey, Vicki. Hi, Josie. All right, guys, I'm just going to give it a few more minutes here. I'm hoping Tracy's end was he's successful. Hey, Z. Hey, Dot. Susan. And there he is. Lebenzon paintbrushes, as you see in chat. That's Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. He is going to try to answer any questions you all might have while I play with the brushes and describe them and show you. And before I forget to say it, hey, CB. Before I get to let you all know, the coupon code tonight is my first name, Patti, P-A-T-T-I. That's good for 20% discount on his website through the end of August of 2020. So in case somebody's watching this 5 years from now, it expired in 2020. Hey, Terry, Jane. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Kathy. All right. So let me get my fan on a little bit down here. It used to be always cold in our basement, not so much this year. So, Tracy, I kind of grouped these here by the ones that are labeled that I know what they are and the types of hair used. So Tracy's brushes, CB or Xander, can you put up the link to Tracy's website every once in a while for us, please? It's LebenzonPaintBrushes.com, but there's a dash in there. Lebenzon-paintbrushes, I think. And just throw that up there every once in a while so people can see it. So Tracy, I kind of have these separated. The brown and orange synthetic up here, natural hairs here, and the goat synthetic mix here. I thought we'd just, in no particular order, just dive in and talk about what we have there and try to stick to one category. So if there's questions about the type of hair, how it's processed, sizes, whatever, we'll be talking about the same type. And then we'll play with them a little bit. So let's see if anybody else snuck in here. I didn't say hi to. Hey, Amalia. Okay, so these I have, Tracy has very generously sent me a bunch of brushes, as you can see. A few of these I bought on his website when I first found him. And then I actually got to meet Tracy in Baltimore in February at the American Craft Council show, which is a very high-end juried show. Hey, Margaret. And that's what Tracy was doing, was he participated in all those shows across the country. And so I met him in person in February. Actually, Xandra, we just got back, and Kathy's on here. We just got back from Arizona, and the following weekend, Tracy was down at Baltimore. So I went down the convention center and met him, and I bought a few I don't remember which ones, but unfortunately, I took the labels off of the ones that I have purchased. So I'll have to hold it up and see if Tracy can tell me what hair is in there. Yeah, there's the link, guys. Thank you so much. So the ones that don't have labels on them, I think I know what these two are. I think these are elk. This one I bought from Tracy down in Baltimore. And this one, I think. Anyway, we'll get there. So let's just go, where do we want to start? Let's start with the synthetic brushes. So his brushes, when you go to the website, you can look up the top navigation bar and you can see where they're broken down by the types of hair, whether it's synthetic, elk, silver fox, goat synthetic mix, orange synthetic, brown synthetic. And you can go in and look. And then when you look at those pages, you'll see that for brown synthetic, you might see small, medium, large sets of them, different length bristles. So that's what you have to be on the lookout for if you're looking for a specific brush. It's broken down, explained extremely well on his website, but there's a lot of choices. So let's just start over here because we can. This one, thankfully, I have the label on here as a small brown synthetic. It's $25. And this is, let's see how long these bristles are on this one. So these are about 1.25 inches. Now Tracy takes the bamboo and cures it. Let me zoom in a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to lose some of the whole wide scan here, but you can see him a little bit better. The bamboo, I don't know what you do to it, Tracy, but it feels so smooth and finished. It's polished. I know that. The bristles go through many processes depending on what type of hair it is, if it's natural, synthetic. All of it's explained on his website. But this one, they come down to a razor point. This is the brown synthetic, about 1.25 inches bristle. And this is the one, if you guys remember, hey, Christine, if you guys remember, I played with this one and I loaded it up with, I don't know if it was watercolor or ink now, I don't remember. And I was making just thin hair-like lines. I filled one page and they were close together. I filled one page and went to a second page, still with one dip of the brush in the paint or ink, whatever it was I was using. I think it was India ink. Another thing of mention about Tracy's brushes, and I think it goes for the synthetic and the natural hairs, but I think particularly the natural hairs, they hold when they're dry. Yeah, this is Tracy's first time in YouTube. Yeah, so the synthetic brushes you can use on various different types of medium. The natural hair ones I think are recommended for inks and watercolors, water-based medium. You wouldn't want to use them with acrylic paint. But you can see how, just for an example, how this looks splayed out there. And that's just when it's dry. It holds a lot of air in there. And when you go to use these brushes, let me see if I can bring this, we're out of sync already with the type of brush it is, but I wanted to show you this large one and see if you can see how much air it holds and see if you can see the bubbles that I can see it already on the side of well, you can't see it. Okay, let's see if you can see any of the bubbles coming up. See the bubbles releasing? It's holding a ton of air in there. So if you pounce it in the water, it takes a while to get all those bubbles out. Kind of zhuzh it around a little bit and pounce it a little bit at different angles gently. There's still air coming out of there. It holds so much air. But when that air's gone, it holds so much, whatever your medium is, right? I think that's pretty much got it there. But now when you see, let me put this water down before I have a catastrophe here. And see what this looks like when it comes out of the water and the point that it goes into. You know, it looks like it's a big, fat, splayed brush, but it gets down to a very fine point with just a couple hairs on the tip and can give you a huge array of different lines. So here's the one I was talking about. This one's $25. With the coupon, it's $20. These are very affordable. And I believe this is the one, Tracy, you might keep me honest, that Robin has used And she holds it way up here and does very loose scripting. She did one video using the Arteza metallic watercolors that she was putting on a folder, I think, that she had rusted and stained and coffee dyed. And I think if it's not this brush, it's one very similar. So the bamboo handles, they're different thicknesses, different lengths. They're natural bamboo. There's not going to be any two alike. But also when you order, there's a box where you can put in a comment and specify you like a short handle. Can it be close to an 8-inch handle? And ask for the length of the handle. And sometimes, given the supply that he's got, he can customize that. But that's the brown synthetic here. This one is the brown synthetic small. However, the length is 3/4 of an inch. This one is also $25. But look at this. I love these with the little sticks on the sides. It just looks so raw. And even though this has this groove out of it, it's as smooth as silk. It's polished. And I don't know if you can see, it's too dark probably and won't focus clear enough. Maybe I'll come up with one with a lighter bamboo to show you how he has to drill out the bamboo and fit the hairs in there individually. It's quite a process. But this one is also $25. And they're both called small, but you can see the different lengths of the hairs. This one, now see if I can pronounce this right. Is it Wangi? Hi, Sherry. Hi, Susan. Wangi or Wangi? That's the type of bamboo that this one is. This is the heavier kind of jointed bamboo. And this is it's spelled WANGI. And Tracy's posts, when he posts on Instagram, come on, focus. When he posts on Instagram, he puts the phonetic in there. And I think it's, so is that G or G? Wayne G. I'm saying G. And this one is a larger, thicker bristle. Let me get the, I don't know if this is a medium, but you can see that goes down into a very fine point as well. And this one happens to be an inch. And this is a different feel. It has a nice grip to it with the wangy. I never will say it right. I'll have to hear you say it in person one day. But that's also a brown synthetic. So these are safe to use with other mediums other than just watercolor or water-based inks. Now I have 2 orange synthetics. And I know these are workhorses for Tracy. And I know Robin has one similar to this. Robin McClendon is who I'm talking about. If you guys know Robin McClendon, I'm sure you do if you watch me. She has been using one of these handmade brushes for almost 30 years. Tracy's cousin Keith had the business and passed away, and then Tracy picked up where he left off. And she uses that. Every time she scripts, you'll see her use that same brush. And I believe it is like one of these or this one. We'll have to talk about that when we get there. But they are, Amalia. These are actually, they're museum quality. He's got brushes in museums that he's made. And this one was headed to a museum, except for I met him in Baltimore and I nabbed it before it got there. But you can see here, this one's burnished with the his little insignia on there. But they are an investment. If you get natural hair and a bigger bristle, it's an investment. But Robin's been using hers for about 30 years. So if you take care of your brush and don't abuse it, they're in for the long haul. So those are the synthetics that I have. I'm going to see if there's any questions. Yeah, a lot of these are really good for inks, calligraphy, watercolor, and you can read the description on his website for each one. It goes into great detail about the springiness of the bristle for the different ones. Oh, Vicki, you have some? Oh, great. That's great. And yeah, everybody so far that I know that's bought them, that has communicated with me, has been very pleased with them. Now I'm going to go over here to the synthetic. These are goat hair and synthetic blend. Okay, so this one, this is the large one. That's quite a big brush compared to, you know, this one here, right? That's a lot of hair, a lot. And you can see this one, how the bamboo is kind of, I don't know what you call that when it's hollowed out, and then each hair. I can't imagine how you get the hairs in there so that they come down to such a chisel point, putting them in there one at a time. I don't know how you do that. It's like a magic trick. But anyway, this one is the large synthetic goat blend. This one's $100. Look, this handle, I just love these. That's that one. That's the one I wet before to show you what kind of a chisel point it came into. And this one is, let's see here. This one's 1.5 inches long, and the large refers to how big around, I believe, the bunch of bristles are. Is that correct? Hey, Linda. Is that correct, Tracy? Then this one, back to the wangy. This is the goat synthetic blend. And this one, these don't have the size, small, medium, or large on it, but I would guess this is a medium. And this has a longer bristle. Let me see how big this is. This is 1.5 inches as well. But look at this chiseled, I mean, down to a fine line. And I'll make some lines and marks with these when we get through the just talking through these here. But again, with the wangy, this one is $55 and 20% off. The goat and synthetic is his most popular, 90% goat, and the rest slightly longer synthetic. That's why, see, the goat is the black. Can you see the synthetic whites at the kind of blended in so it looks gray? That's a little bit of synthetic that's in there. You can see this one a little bit with the thicker bristle. You can see it a little bit more plainly there where the white synthetics come into the tip. And this one, I love this handle again with the sticks. I'm telling you. This one is a medium goat synthetic blend. Where's my ruler? Right here in front of me. This one is 1 inch. And this one is $50. If my shaky hands would let me focus here. That goes down to about 1 hair at the end. And Robin's, when she shows you that brush coat close up, that hair's still there. It's crazy. And this one is a small goat blend. This one's $25. I love the coloration of this handle. And they're all different. So you don't know, you know, the handle will be a surprise. This one I think is 1 inch. Yeah. This one's 1 inch and this one's 25. And this is smaller around into the base of the bamboo. Okay, so that's the goat and bamboo blends. Then let's go. There's a couple in here, Tracy. I don't remember what they are. I think this is the first one I bought from you. And I believe, I don't know if you can tell, I believe this is a 3/4. Yeah, this is a 3/4 inch, and I think it's elk. I think this was elk. So naturally, the natural hair, hey, Laura, the natural hairs are going to be more expensive than the synthetic, right? This one, I believe, was $70, Tracy. Am I right about that? But this one's my go-to. This one is very similar in size to the one Robin uses, I believe. The first one is Russian. This one's Russian Sable. I thought for sure I bought it. It was elk. I'm telling you, I know enough to be dangerous. I know he knows his bristles. Come on. This thing's driving me crazy with the focus, of course. APG, Jamie. Hello, dear. I know. It is blurry, and I don't know why this daggone thing. You know what? Let me zoom out a little bit again and see if bringing it up now, if that makes a difference. Does that show you anything? And this one is the itty bitty. And it is itty bitty. Look at this, like razor sharp. It's much finer than this small one. See the difference? This one was itty bitty that I got. And I think this one was 20 or 25. Siberian. Oh, I was right. Ta-da! Yeah, so this one was Siberian elk. And I think this was 70, if I'm not mistaken. This is the itty bitty. And is this looks like the similar bristle? Is that elk as well? Oh, come on. Let me pull my hands away and try to get it to focus again. That looks similar. I think that one might be elk as well. Now this one, I don't remember what this is, Tracy, but this one I bought from you in Baltimore. I know it was, what was it called? Some kind of green, something bamboo, green. Should have never taken the tags off. Oh, the Siberian elk is 30. Okay. Sorry for that misquote, but 20% off. I don't know. I think this one might be elk as well. I wonder if I can put this. Is that going to focus any better? If I block out the whole screen, there we go. It's some kind of green onion handle. There you go. It's very rare with Siberian ink bristles. But this, I have kind of a big hand, and this notch in here, holding it loose. Now, if I would only wanted to crank down with it and hold it like that, but holding it loosely, that rests right in my hand. And this is the one that was headed to the museum, but I had to snag it. Couldn't stand it. So this is really, that's really a sweet one. So here, and I think this might all be sable, Tracy. I only have the label on one. This is Russian sable. And this is an inch. And this one is marked. So I know this one is Russian sable. And this has, I always like longer handles. That's why he always sends me these like that are bigger for my bigger hand. But this is called a small Russian sable. And you can see how polished even that the sheen that's on the bamboo when it gets close up like that. Well, let me get a whole piece of paper out of here. How about that? Oh, and cardstock even, where it would be stiff enough that I don't have to chase it around the room. This one is a sweet, sweet brush right here. And that one's $70, 20% off, don't forget. Small Russian sable. And see how the handles got some decorative marks around there. Really beautiful. But these two, I think they might also be sable, Tracy. Let's see what he said. The background helps. Okay. Put the Russian sable and Siberian elk together, you would see the Russian sable is much finer diameter hairs than the silver. Oh, Siberian elk. Okay, so the sable is finer. Okay. And this one looked darker to me. So this is the one I'm not sure. I took the label off. Can you tell what that is? That's a really straight piece of bamboo. This one's like perfectly straight. Hey, Glennis. For acrylic paint, Tracy, do you suggest not the natural hairs, but the synthetics, the brown synthetic or the orange synthetic? We're seeing a question there from Glennis in chat. This one's an inch long. And this one here, this is the one you recently sent me. This one with this curved handle. I love this one. Also, let's see, Terry's asking, what's the difference between the small and the itty bitty elk in use? The marks that it makes, the amount of pigment that it holds, you know, depending on the length, you know, just the performance of how you're going to use it, what you're going to do with it. Like any other brush with those different size bristles. Bunch of acrylics. In general, the more viscous acrylic, the synthetic bristles will last much longer. The brown and orange and stiff white are stiffer with each step. I don't have any of the white bristles, but let me see if you can tell which. Oh, now they look different up here. One looks black and one looks brown. I don't know if it's one wet. Did I wet it maybe? Can you tell, Tracy, which one? Let me pull these down. This is this one you sent me recently. And this one, I don't know. I may have bought this one because it doesn't have a label on it either. That looks like it's got a little bit of white in the tip. Maybe oh, you know what? I think this is the white, the goat and white one that I bought, I think. The light tip makes me think the upper one is a small diameter goat. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I did buy a goat and synthetic blend, and it doesn't have a label, so I'm going to put that up here with those. Okay, and this one, this is the one I'm puzzled with too. Hey, April. Welcome. There's a really good picture. I'm thinking this one might be elk. But I love this handle in here with the curve in it. I think, I don't know if it's Russian or if it's Siberian elk or Russian sable. I'll wait for Tracy to get back to me. And these two up here, these are the silver fox. I do too, Vicki. The stranger, the better. I like how, I love these ones with the little sticks up here on them and the curves in them. And this one, wait, the brush with the curve is a special series handle. Russian sable. Yes, it is a work of art. This one's beautiful. This is the one he just sent me recently. So that goes, oh, Russian sable. It is Russian sable. Okay, so that stays here with this Russian sable. Okay, that's what I thought. So the next two are the silver fox. So here is one. This one is the small silver fox. Oops, let me put it like this again. And this is a chisel tip. And you can see the silver fox hairs in there. And this one happens to have the little stick on the handle and some carvings in the tip of it here. This one is an inch. And this one is 70 plus 20% off. Yeah, the handles are, it's a very light brush. You might think it's heavy, even these big ones. Actually, this brush is lighter than, well, I don't know. I can't really tell. This brush is no heavier than this brush. Let's put it that way. As big as this is, this is light as air, and it's so comfortable in your hand. These are like one of those worry stones. Like, we just want to play with this bamboo because it feels so, it is so polished. And this one is the Wangy Silver Fox. I don't know what size this is. It's $160. But there's a lot of Silver Fox in here. This is an inch, but it's, oh, this paper. Let's see how I can do this to try to show you the girth of this one. There's a lot of Silver Fox hair in there. And let me put this one in the water. Let me see if I can get this one to. So this is another one that's dry, and see how it looks kind of splayed out there. See if you can see the bubbles. It's so hard to show that. That's probably silly for me to even try. I can see them coming up through the camera. I guess you guys can too. Can't hardly get mine, but they're still coming out of there. And if I look through the jar, you can't see it. There's bubbles clinging to all the hairs that are popping out of there. And there's a bunch of tiny ones coming out of there now. Oh, you can see it? See, good. And they're still coming out of there. But you just have to fuss with it just a little bit to get it kind of primed to soak up the watercolor or ink or pigments that you plan to use. All right, let me put this down before we have a catastrophe. And let me pull this over here and show you now how this comes to such a chiseled point when it's wet. It looks like it's kind of splayed out there, but that's just the nature of the hair. And when it's wet, it comes down to a tiny, tiny point. You can kind of see one hair out there at the end. And you'd be surprised. When I first saw these, I thought they were going to be heavy, but they're really light. The thicker wangy. Wangy handle Silver Fox is one of my personal favorites. Responsive and holds liquid like a camel. Hey, Jerry. So I just want to mention again for the new ones coming in that Zandra and CB are putting up the link to Tracy's website for many, many more of these beautiful brushes. It's Lebenzon paint brushes. There's a coupon code active through the end of August 2020. My first name, Patti, Patti, for a 20% discount on your purchase. And when he ships international, now he's got that going to ship international. And when he ships them, they come packaged like they are nitroglycerin. I mean, they are so well packaged and protected when they're shipped that no matter what the FedEx or post office or whoever handles them does to them, they come to you in perfect condition. And they're really a joy to look at. Another thing he has on his website is his magic paper. Looks like this is the back of it, and this is the front. You can see mine's a little bit stained if you look closely enough because I wasn't all that clever when I used it. What was the last big brush called? This is the Wangy Silver Fox. Oop, I got it wet. It's $160 with 20% off. It's 1 inch long, and it doesn't have the size on this label. Tracy, can you tell if this is considered a small or medium, or can they just tell by the price? Oh, the brushes have a lifetime warranty for materials and workmanship. He's the only one to offer that for any kind of artist grade paint brushes. So that's pretty, that's as good as you're going to get. So I don't know. Let me put this on a ruler and see if you can maybe have any idea what size. This is really awkward. This angle and the lighting here and the dark bristles on the dark ruler. I don't know if you can tell just by the price. Linda, when you go look at it, whatever's 160, 7 to 9 millimeters, which is the medium. This is the medium diameter brush. That's the Silver Fox. And that's, this is the one, Tracy, you said is your favorite. This one here. Patti, how do you store them? I have, I found this little bamboo. It's a vase, I guess, but I use it for a brush holder. It's got this wabi-sabi, try to repair it, the boo-boos on it kind of a thing, and a crystal. I just thought it was kind of cool and funky. And I put mine in there, standing on their ends. But this, I'm going to have to come up with something else because I've outgrown my my bamboo holder. I got that on Etsy. So, all right, does anybody have any questions or want to see anything again? Otherwise, I'm going to start to just make some strokes and play. And if you have any other questions for Tracy, ask away. At 7:36, I'll probably stay on till at least 8, and we'll see how it's going by 8 o'clock. But I'm going to try to group these and move these off to the side. These are the elk, sable, silver fox. Okay. Will I remember that? Probably not. Get my background jelly prints out of here. And these are the goat and synthetic mix over here. And for those of you who might not be seeing the chat when you watch the recording, that's what I'm talking about right there. You can pause your screen and zoom in and get all that pertinent information right there. You can see how unsteady I actually am when I do that. Okay, let me clear clear my little workspace here. You can see where I didn't use a completely clean brush, and I have some shadows on here, which I think would actually rinse out if I took the time to do it, which I haven't done. Bad girl. But Tracy sells these on his, they're not very expensive at all. The brush works with inks, acrylics, and watercolors, and so on. How do you wash these brushes after? Are they very delicate? Favorite ink, Patti? Do you use these only with ink or watercolor? I have only used, Patti, can you use the big one, please? This one here, Linda, the one you were asking about? I am. That's what I'm going to do. And my label's coming off. Oh, no. Lately, I've been using a lot of Sumi ink, and I have some other, this is one of the J. Irvine 1670s I brought out here to play with. And watercolor, of course, but I personally don't use the natural hair on acrylic. I don't want it to build up and get on the hairs. But here's Tracy's answer about how to wash them with water-based materials, dishwasher soap, or shampoo will clean them. Always let them dry with the bristles pointing down. So you want to prop them so that they're vertical. Sure. So let me just grab this here. Hi. What happened? Good. All right, let me get my watercolors juiced up over here. I'm zoomed in so tight you won't be able to see. Well, you know I'll be dipping in watercolors. They're right here, but they're kind of out of frame. I'm going to wet these. Let those soak for a second. Oh, great. I sprayed it all over my magic paper. Yay. All right. This is the silver fox. And I'm just going to put some watercolor in here and just try to just make some strokes. I'm not going to paint anything because I can't paint anything but abstract, right? You do not want me painting a dog or a portrait or a person or a flower or a straight line for that matter. I'll just use this darker color. This is Indian Throne Blue. So we'll start out with some really thin lines. And my hand is so shaky. I'm probably not the greatest person to demo with something fine work because of my hand, but you can get really, really tiny lines with this, and it still looks completely saturated with pigment. You probably can't tell that, but I can. Yeah, I can't hold my hand steady enough to get one continuous. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Oh, that was better. But you can also get a stroke that's this wide with one stroke of the brush, right? Hey, Claire. Right? Or you can, thinking of petals, do one of these numbers. I can't do this very well either. I never do any kind of a flower. Right? But you can, this holds a ton of pigment in here. They feel so nice in your hand. They're so light. Magic paper is reusable practice cloth. Yeah, so let me show you this here a second. So you just use it with plain water and just, well, I didn't load that. That's not really plain yet. Hang on. And I'm off to the side here. It's not really in front of me where I can write, so that doesn't look so great, but let's just make some marks. And you can see this is already starting to evaporate. So it's like one of those, what are those board, Kathy? Dragonfly, Kathy. What is the name of the board that you have for practice with, or Z, you might have one too, that you practice with that, it does the same thing. You use it with water. I forget what it's called. Anyway, it's expensive. And this is, how much are these, Tracy? Are these like $10? Buddha board. That's right, a Buddha board. That's what it's called. And I know some of the people have that, but yeah, this just, it starts to dry out right after you put the mark down there. And as long as you use clean water, you won't get these little shadows like I have in here. $10 a sheet. Yeah, plus 20% off. So it's $8 a sheet. But it just, you just make whatever marks that you want to make, and it just evaporates. It's magic. Magic, I tell you. Put this up here out of the way. Let's take a completely different kind of a brush, and I'll use this. This one's $25. It's a small brown synthetic. Which is one of your most popular ones, Tracy, that you would say would be worth a good demo? How much is the shipping to the UK, please? Gayla, hey. Sasha. Oh, Sasha asked that. Can you mount them on a board? Okay, so Tracy's probably busy answering these questions because I don't know those answers. But hang on, be patient, and he will get back to you, I'm sure. And I don't know, Sasha, how accurate. He might be able to give you an estimate for the shipping. I guess it would depend on the weight and the length, size of the package, depending on what you order. The brown synthetic or goat and synthetic are very popular. Okay, well, let's use different sizes of those. I used a big one. Let's try. Well, I'll get to that. But here's the brown synthetic. This is the one with the, I think this was 1.5 inches bristle on it. And let's try, what is this? Bright clear violet. All right, this is pretty loaded. Actually, I'm going to drip some of that off because it's almost holding too much water. And this is the one that just goes and goes and goes and goes. And I think I did 1.5 pages of these stripes the last time I did it. Wilma, hi. Repeat the discount code. It's my first name, Wilma, Patti, P-A-T-T-I. Hey, Cher. Hello there. Oh, you did get one April after I used it? I know, it's crazy. This thing, of course, I'm standing here with a fan on me and not using it while I'm talking, but you know, this just goes and goes and goes. And I think this is the one that Robin uses real loosely and holds way up here on the handle. Now, I can't script like she does, so pardon my failed scripting here. But just, you know, if you... I can't do it like she does it. But yeah, it just, you know, and you can make a wider mark too if you want to, kind of a swishy mark and let the bristles go flat and wide. And you can get the skinniest little hair details. I'll hold that up because you probably can't see that. Those little hash marks there. But to see how fine they are with the very tip of that. I mean, it's very versatile. You think, oh, God, all I can do is make a fine line with that. And you can, but you can also, you know, drag it. Let me get a little wetter. Drag it and, you know, if you're swatching or whatever, you want to fill in a bigger, just use the side of the brush. You know, you don't have to use it just one way. It does. And there's April has one of these. A little creative in chat, and she's saying it goes forever. It does go forever. This was over here in the synthetic department. And then Tracy was saying that the goat is another very popular one. This one is a different size. This is the medium. No, I'm not going to say it's a medium. It's the Wangi Goat Synthetic Blend. You can see the white tip at the end is a synthetic, just a few of those hairs, but most of it is goat. And this is the Wangi handle. It's very light. Which brush is this? Hey, Vinaldo. So hang on. Are you guys, let me go back. Are you guys asking about this one? The one with the long skinny bristles? Let me allow for the a little bit of few second lag here to make sure I'm answering the right question. Gayla, this brush, is that what you're asking about, this one here? Yeah, this is the small brown synthetic. It's $25. The bristles are 1.5 inches. And that is a thirsty little rascal right there. Hi, Gail. Yep, so with the discount, it's $20 for a handmade brush of this quality. Is crazy. And these take a long time for him to make. I'm sure the smaller ones don't take as long as the larger ones, but they are not, they're not made in bulk. I can tell you that. So this one is $55. This is a synthetic goat and synthetic blend. So like I was saying, you can see the synthetic, there's the little white bristles at the end. And the rest of it is goat hair. But this looks like it's clunky. It is not. This is very, very light bamboo. So let's see. Of course, it's not quite dry yet, but who cares? Let's just flip her over for the sake of demo. I'm trying not to, I have such a deep container here for water. I'm trying not to get this label wet, but still get my bubbles out. So I'm kind of fussing with it over here awkwardly. I'm going to have to write on these handles or something so I get, bubbles are still coming out of there. It's crazy how much air that holds. But when that air goes out, it's going to hold water or ink or whatever. M&M. Hello. That is crazy how much air is in there. So let me switch here. There we go. Get my watercolors a little. I'm finding another dark color. Indigo. I'd say that's pretty dark. Just for contrast here so you guys can see it a little better. Medium diameter brushes with bamboo cane handle. The Wangji handle is softer to the touch and generally more popular. Yeah, and I can see why, Tracy. I first remember when I bought mine, I bought all the skinny handles because I thought, just looking at it, I thought it would be clunky. It is not. It feels really good in your hand. I was wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. On the brown synthetic page 1, only see 1 inch or smaller. Let me measure it again. Did I tell you wrong? Hang on. Sorry, it's 1 1/4, it looks like. Is there 1 1/4 on there, Sherry? Xander, if you don't see, order another one and send me a note and ask for the link you want. Specific name of the brush Patti was using earlier that made the fine lines across the paper. I checked the chat, but can't find the name. Is it this one that you're talking about, Vinalda? This is the small brown synthetic, $25 plus the coupon off. And this one, Tracy, I think this one is, hey, Glenda. This one, if I'm not mistaken, is measuring 1 1/4. Are you guys saying that a 1 1/4 isn't, or 1 1/2, 1 1/4 is not showing on the website? That is a small brown synthetic with a 1 1/4 bristle. Okay. Is that the one? Did somebody say that they don't see that on the website under the brown synthetic? Here's my indigo's already dried up. That's okay. Well, I'll get some on here anyway. So this is the synthetic goat. What did I say? This one's 1 1/4. And this one is 55, but this is a fatter bristle. I guess that's a medium, maybe, but the 55, whatever the $55 one is. Not all the brushes I make are on the site. It's one of the details that are different from showing them at art shows, which, yeah, I got him at when I saw him in person. I'll have to maybe separate those, Tracy, so I don't show ones that aren't on the website. So here's this one. Again, they're all will chisel down to near nothing. And once I get the hang of it, gosh, if you'd want to draw hair on an animal or something. Look how fine some of these are when I get my hand going the right way. Oh, okay. So Tracy's saying order the closest to it that you see on the web, and in the comment box, put in there, ask for the longer length that you want, the 1 1/4 inch. And there's a place at checkout where you can ask other details like the bristle length and put it in there, and then he'll customize your order for you. Oh, thanks, Sherry. So anyway, and this one, you know, again, you can use the whole side of the brush for a very wide stroke. And it just get a really fine swirl there going when I figure out. It's odd to me because I'm not used to a brush that chiseled, and it almost looks like the brush when it's making these fine lines isn't even touching the page. But you can see how fine they get or how wide they get. That's an ugly flower. I never promised you a rose garden. Yeah, there you go, Sherry. He'll confirm it. Just send him a note at the info at Lebenzon-paintbrushes.com, and he can confirm the order before he ships it. Let's switch. This was goat, right? Goat blend. Yeah. Let me switch. He'll switcheroo. To some Sumi ink and switch the paper to like a rice paper. Come on, work with me, work with me. You kicked yourself out trying to say hi to Glenda. Oh, CB, have you been hitting the hooch already? Oh, bye, Z. Thanks for popping in. All right, let's give me a little elbow room here. This is the first one I got. This is a Siberian elk 3/4 inch. That I believe is close to the profile that Robin uses, although hers may be sable, Russian sable. Oh, you know what? Let's use, I'm not going to use this dish. Let me use, hang on, let me find something else here. Lord, on a racket there, trying to get something out like this that I'm going to use this silver and gold ink just to play around for a few minutes. Yeah, you need time for a cocktail. I'm beating this like crazy because in the bottom of this, there is a mixing ball and there's so much gold pigment in this black ink that it settles to the bottom and the Siberian elk and the Russian sable are similar. There it goes. Siberian elk is springier and Russian sable produce finer lines. Thanks, DB, for putting the links up there. This one's really stuck. I'm going to give this a good zhuzhin. And this ink that I'm going to play with is this Yasutomo. This one, you see me use the silver all the time. This one's the gold. Does the same thing. My fan is actually, I'm going to turn the fan off now. All right. Let's play with this. A little bit of that. Yeah, to clean it, dishwashing soap or shampoo. So this is the little 3/4 inch Siberian elk. Oops. This one was, I believe, the $70 one. Let me get this wet to get my bubbles out. You'd be surprised how many bubbles are in that little smaller brush. Now get the water out of here. It doesn't dilute my ink too much. All right, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to try to play with a little scripting, but I'm out of practice. I'm telling you, if you don't do that all the time, it's really difficult for me to oh, you know what? You guys want to zoom in and watch this ink. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Oh, wrong way. That's out. So you can see what this ink does. See where that's gold already there? Can you see it? With a little black edging on it. And it looks completely black in the pot. But the gold's in there. When you let it sit, when you pour it out like this, you got to stir it up a little bit to make sure the pigment gets kind of spread around in there. Oops, I'm zoomed in so tight. This is really going to be awkward, but I wanted you to see what this ink does. It's really cool. It just sinks through. And back here, you see the black on the rice paper, but here it leaves the gold playing on the front. Isn't that cool? It's groovy. And usually on this newsprint, yeah, there you go. Well, of course, it's out of focus. I mean, out of let me come out a little bit. See, this turns right to gold on this as soon as I make the streak on there. And see how much is still in this little rascal? Let's see, what am I missing here in chat? Cleaning. Yeah, he's got all kind of information on his website about the care for your brushes, cleaning, how he processes the bristles, how he processes the bamboo. It's a lot of information out there that would answer probably any question that you had. What did you do, Gayla? CB, when Z said it was up to us, my computer went dead. I knocked a soda on the floor and my headphones fell off. I don't know. I think something similar happened to you in Arizona, if I recall. Good night. Yes, Claire, that's true. I didn't realize you got some, but that's great. So here's the silver black. Let me put that over here. Not that I'm going to remember once I do this, which one's which. And this does the same thing, but in silver, just playing with different inks. Now, does anybody know the J. Irvine ink, if they are if they're water-based or permanent. Do we know that? I want to play with one of those too, but I don't want to. Kayla, you want a bee, a bye, a bow, and a bop? Sure, that's Dairy Queen with a curl on top. Oh my God, Kayla's crash landing at the Dairy Queen in Arizona was. She broke some ribs, so it wasn't all that funny. But at the time, we didn't know, and it was hilarious. See, this is just like magic. This ink, I just love this stuff. Watch. Let me put it down here. We can actually see it. Black, silver, black, silver. I know. I'm very easily entertained. All right, I don't know what, so maybe what I'll do is use that with a synthetic brush, just in case it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not water-based. Couldn't get it out. Let me take this little orange synthetic. This one's 25 also, with the little stick on the end. I love that. I better get this one wet. Get the bubbles out of there, the bublés out of there. This ink is really cool ink, but it does settle quickly. I just stirred that up. See where the mica started to come down to the bottom already? I don't know if you could see that or not. You're just gonna have to trust me. It is tricky getting that ball loose. If it sits in the same position for a while, that sucker is caked in there with that mica. All right, I can't really. There we go. This ink is pretty cool too. Oop. Oh, see, I got it all over my hands because I'm dipping too deep. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But I like how curvy you can make these lines. Look, I'm now a Smurf. Great. And I'm staining my brush. All for you guys. And let's see. Let's let this sink in a minute and see if I see the colors. I'm going to put this in water and see if I can get this off my brush and my fingers. Yeah, it's coming off. So I'm guessing that's water-based. Hey, Elon. Yeah, I got to get clean water. It's still coming a little bit of, see, this really holds the ink. You can still see that little bit of tint on there. But that will come out when I wash them. Okay. Hope that comes out when I wash. This ink is really fussy. Sometimes it shows a really, let me use this one. But I can't see where it is in here. There's got to be a better way. I'm going to see if you can see this. Hey, Robin. I'm going to try to make bigger marks. Just swishing it like this so you can see the what the ink does. This isn't long enough. The brush is bigger than the bottle, so luckily that keeps me from doing something crazy. I just want to make a couple big blobby marks, even if it's this, to try to let you see what this ink does. All right. Get that washed out of there. If you remember this orange synthetic brush like this is the one that Robin was using on her jelly plate with the mica powders, dipping it in the mica and spreading it all over the plate. Still not showing you what I want to show you. What kind of paper did I use before? Anyway, you can see down here there's some different colors in there, but you get a red and a green and like a gold comes out in this when it's on certain papers. You can kind of see it when it's on an angle. But we're not here about ink, we're here about brushes. But it's cool stuff. So, is there anything, what time we got? 8:10. Is there anything anybody else wants to see or to ask Tracy while he's here and at your beck and call? And again, when this is over, his website is full of information. You can email him at info@lebenzon-paintbrushes.com and he'll respond to you. And there's comment boxes in the ordering process if you want to ask for a longer handle, a shorter handle, or whatever, or one with a stick on it if he's got one. I mean, it's natural bamboo. Like this one isn't going to be produced again. This is one of a kind. And you might have another one with a stick on it, but it won't look the same and it might not be the same color. But that's the beauty of these. I love it how they're just their own individuals. Yeah, thanks, Gayla. I tell you, you got to do it every day, scripting, because it's like muscle memory. And I just get like, what am I doing? I got to stop and think what I'm doing. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to not think and just let your hand go. Any big no-nos to keep in mind, Tracy? Maybe talk to Tracy, Robin. I don't know where you live. He's on the West Coast. Or I don't know what kind, if he gets it from a certain place or harvested for a certain way or whatever. I don't know. They really are, Cher. They are definitely art pieces in themselves. I mean, I've got some really beautiful ones here that I just love. Now, I thought I remember what this was. I think this is sable. Is that right, Tracy, that this one was sable with the bent handle? I need to write it on here somehow or make labels. They are rugged. So you guys, most of you know Robin McClendon, the brush that you see her script with that looks very much like this size, but her handle is this type bamboo with the more apparent joints. It's much slender than this, but it's got a bend in it like this. And it's a darker brown. She uses it all the time with her scripting and her little jar of ink. And that brush is close to 30 years old. And she pretty much uses it just about every day. This one's sable. Okay. Yeah, but they are so nice in your hand. They do. It's until you handle one, you probably, think, yeah, it's a piece of stick. It's not a piece of stick. It's a polished, honed, loved piece of bamboo. And each one has its own intricate details that are different because it's natural bamboo. Some of them come out really straight, like this one's pretty straight. Some of them have a little, little wonkiness to them. This one, the wonkiness of this one fits right in my hand. It's a good wonky. So I love me some Lebenzon brushes. I can tell you that. I've been doing so much collage. I haven't been using brushes very much lately, but playing with these and getting the watercolors out, it's kind of making me itch to do some watercolor. Night, Dot. It is late for you. Go to bed, girl. Yeah, bamboo. 200 different brushes. The synthetic bristles are good for just about anything. Yeah. I would somebody was asking about no-nos, and I don't know if this really is a no-no or not, but maybe if you cleaned it the right way, but like the natural hairs, I would not use those with acrylic paint and have any buildup get on it. Hey, Allie, we're having a Lebenzon brush party. Tracy Lebenzon is in chat with us answering questions, and I have a coupon code that's my name, Patti, P-A-T-T-I, good for 20% off your purchase through the end of August 2020. But let me pull these back. Well, let me zoom out so you can see what all I've got here. Bring these beauties back into view for everybody. And you're just so pretty. I'm going to take a picture of that and just frame it. Oh, Allie, did you get some too? That's great. Which ones did you get, Allie? Oh, you have 3 of them. Good for you. They are great, aren't they? Acrylic paint and natural hair brushes. The trick is to thoroughly clean the acrylic after you use it. If you don't, you can always use paint thinner later. And that's not hard on the natural hair. That's interesting. 2 synthetic and a natural synthetic. Nice. I know. I met Tracy when he was here in Baltimore at the convention center for the American Craft Council show back in February. And I had bought a couple from his website, and I was wanting to buy more, but I thought I got to hold out till February. And I did get down there to see him and got a few more. And then we just stayed in touch, and he was on his way after that show, I believe it was to Atlanta, and was there with all of his stuff to set up. And they canceled the show because of COVID, and all the shows since then have been canceled. So that's quite an impact to your business when when so many people have been affected by the virus with being shut down like that. With you just don't have your venue available to you to make your living, and so we're just sharing these in hopes for those who love them and want them and can't afford to get them and take advantage of the sale is pushed to the website. Oh, wow. The ACC Baltimore was the only one you got to do this year, and over 30 others were canceled. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Murphy's Oil Soap, that's an idea. CB, and with the oil in it, I wonder if that's even more gentle. But we use that like when we want to clean off our stencils or any of the acrylic tools that we use, to soak it in a pan of warm water and Murphy's Oil Soap, and it just flakes off the acrylic paint like butter. Eminem. Oh, you're in Atlanta. Oh, and you usually go. Yeah. Yep. I used to go to that show. I went for a few years, but I know, you know what? I never saw these there, or maybe I wasn't doing the type of art that required brushes. I did lamp work, making glass beads before I got into mixed media stuff. And maybe just didn't notice him there because I wasn't in the market for brushes, but I notice him now. Makes 4 synthetic synthetic bristles range from soft from soft white, brown, orange, and stiff white. Yeah, I don't have any of the white ones to show you, but they're white and just as lovely with a different performing type bristle. All right, so does anybody want to see any of these up close before we wrap it up, or have any other questions? I think I said that before, but we get talking and then we get, off the rails, down a rabbit hole. This one's really pretty. This is a goat synthetic mix, $25. Look at the colorations in that one. And it's pretty straight actually, which I like them all, but they're just one of a kind, literally. Edelstein, you're welcome. So I'm going to give it a second and see if there's any bit of a lag, that if anybody wanted to ask a question of me or of Tracy. Oh, you got one of those, Allie? It was your first one. Yeah, it's a good choice. It's kind of an all-around brush. And he said these are his workhorse ones that are really popular, the goat and synthetic blends. And also, for those of you who follow Robin and love her scripting and her brush, she is working on a, I don't know what format or platform she's going to use, but she is working on a scripting, I don't know, workshop, class. I don't know what to call it, because I don't know the format she's going to use. But people have asked her for it. And she's talked about it on Patreon. And several people were telling me they were trying to find brushes, a brush similar to hers, to use for when she does this scripting class. So I think the one she uses the most, Tracy, did we decide it's Russian Sable, 3/4 inch? Small or medium. This one's elk, but it's similar in size to this one. This one is the elk, and this one is sable, but that's a similar tip to what she uses. All right, well, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. Is that the one that's yeah, it is, April. Yep, that's the one she uses all the time. It's got kind of a curved handle like this one is, but it's a much thinner. It looks like it's more, actually I saw it in person and got to touch it in Arizona. Oh yeah. All I could do to keep the law on my side and not take her brush. Robin likes a 3/4 inch medium diameter Siberian elk. So I think this one is small. I think that's the small, but that's the 3/4 inch and that's the elk. Now the itty bitty that Robin, you thought it was the itty bitty. You thought Robin used the itty bitty? No. She uses that for scripting with other paints. But this is the itty bitty. And that's the small 3/4 inch. I think this Russian Sable. Oh, that's Sable. That's not elk. What am I doing? That's Sable. Elk. I think this one might be more along the lines. No, that one's too big. That one's too big. I don't know. They're all starting to look alike. The one, it's really throwing me off because some of them I don't have labels on. And they're the ones I bought myself before I went crazy when I saw the ones at the show in person. It's like, oh my God. Small Siberian elk is 70. The itty bitty is 30. And you said Robin likes the medium diameter. How much is the medium 3/4 elk? Tracy, do you know off the top of your head? Yeah, she uses this. I think it's this one. No, this is small orange. This isn't the itty bitty, but this is the orange synthetic that she was using for her scripting when she was holding it way up on the handle and doing that really loose scripting. The way her hand moves when she does that is mesmerizing to me. Like she can't make a mistake. Medium is 155 with bamboo, 160 with wangi. So pretty much any of these smaller ones would work for the scripting. I mean, you could even script with the larger ones, but you get a different effect, obviously. But so take advantage of the coupon while it's active. It's active till the end of this month, August of 2020. My first name, Patti, Patti, for 20% off your purchase with Tracy. And the link is all through here in chat. I'll link him up below the video once it processes and it's up on YouTube where I can change it. And we'll all be using Lebenzon brushes. Lucky us. So Tracy, let's see, smaller ones work well, but the larger ones hold more and are more responsive from small to large size strokes. Yep. Yeah, and as pointy as these are, I mean, you just have to get used to, and when I say you, I mean me. Because they're so responsive and they're come to such a clean, crisp point that you need to I need to get used to the feel of it. But they are great. Margaret, let's see, Patty. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for joining. All right. Well, it's almost 8:30. We'll go ahead and wrap up for now, and we'll do this again sometime. So thank you, Tracy, for coming on live. That's a big help because I knew there would be questions and that people would have that I wouldn't be able to answer as quickly and accurately as you could. So I appreciate you jumping on here with us, and hopefully we're going to keep you busy here for a while, and we'll do this again sometime. All right, guys. Oh, you're welcome, Tracy. I'm happy to do it. And don't forget, burn that coupon up while you got it, guys. And I will catch you guys later, sometime this week, hopefully. Thanks again, mods, to throwing the links up there. And Gayla, I hope you recover from your recent spill. Hope you didn't re-crack your ribs. Oh, that's not funny. You know I love you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support and interest in the brushes. And Tracy, I'll catch up with you. Take care, guys. Bye.